People who have suffered brain injuries often behave out of character and can't control the things they do or say, giving carers all manner of problems and dilemmas to deal with.
I've had them bite me, punch me, swear at me, abuse me because of my colour, kick, punch, everything.
When I'm faced with a patient with aggression, I feel a bit threatened, a bit vulnerable for them and me, really.
It's Friday afternoon, the end of a long week. This is Louise, an occupational therapist. She's looking forward to the end of her shift. Mr. Hanrahan has had a traumatic brain injury. He's in hospital for rehabilitation before he goes home.
Mind the paintwork, you stupid woman! Oh, I'm all dizzy. I'm getting all dizzy now. What am I doing back here?
Do you remember we're going to do the transfer from the chair to the bed?
No, I don't remember that at all.
Like we did this morning.
This morning? Don't get so close to me. Give me some... Don't point. I don't like people pointing. Give me some room. Give me some room. Stand back a bit. Right. Ready. There. See?
Well done.
Where's my glasses?
Top of your head, Steve.
What do you put them there for? Can I have my book?
Yes.
Not that one! My book, you stupid woman! The other one.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right now?
All right now, all right. Do I look all right? Hey, I don't know who you are, I don't know where I am, and you're asking me if I'm all right? You can't even get me the right bloody book. Go on, piss off!
Oh, Louise, we're going to have to move Steve to the main ward. We've got an MRSA coming in.
Ian, can I have a quick word?
Yeah, sure.
It's just about Steve in the ward down there.
Oh, Steve, the...
Kicking off all the time. I've just seen the nurse and she says he's got to be moved tonight.
Oh.
He's just kicked off and had a massive go at me. I was trying to move him from the chair to the bed and he was just in one of those really bad moods and he started shouting and then he got a book and he chucked it. So I just don't really know how to go about it.
Could you try talking to him?
I mean, I have thought of that, but I just think he's going to kick off and I'm a bit worried it's going to get risky.
Yeah, I know what he's like.
Just wondered if you had any other ideas.
The only other thing you could do, I mean, you could move him when he's asleep.
Yeah, what? Just move him?
Move him quietly, just slide him down. One room's much the same as another.
You don't think he'd get confused?
He's got a brain injury, he probably wouldn't remember, would he?
Probably not. I mean, I don't think he knows where he is at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah, it's difficult.
The first option is to avoid confrontation and move him in a way that he won't notice. The second option is to face him. What would you do?
Mr. Hanrahan, could we have a quick word?
So you've come mob-handed. Well, what do you want? I had enough of her this morning.
Yes, I heard. Unfortunately, we have a bit of a problem, I'm afraid.
You're not going to take my book off me, are you?
No, I'm not going to take your book off you. As you may know, we've had an outbreak of MRSA infections on the ward. With a case of MRSA, we need to be put into a single room. Yes. Unfortunately...
Yes, it is unfortunate, isn't it?
The only single room we have, I'm afraid, is this one.
This one?
Yes.
This one?
Yes, so,
No, 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 no.
I'm really sorry, but I'm afraid we're going to have to move you.
No, you're not. No, 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 I'm staying here. I eat here. This is my room. My room. It's got my name on the door and everything.
I understand. I'm really sorry about this, but I'm afraid we don't have any options.
I bet you do. Go next door and see what's going on there.
We've tried that already. We've thought through all the options.
Why me?
Because you're the only person who doesn't have MRSA who's in a single room.
Yeah, but if you put me with all them other people, I might get something if they're all Jamie and that.
We'll be putting you in a bay with other people who are perfectly healthy.
You shouldn't put these people together. It's not right.
No, but unfortunately I'm afraid we have no choice.
How many people?
4.
4.
We're sorry, Steve. We'll make sure you've got all your things with you.
Four people.
All your things will be with you. It will be just as if you were here.
Just 4 people.
You will get used to it.
And they've all had accidents like I have, have they?
Yes, mostly.
Oh, bloody right then.
Thank you, Mr. Hanrahan.
Thank you very bloody much.
It's always best to explain things to patients, even if it might not be to their liking. Just look at what might have happened if they tried to move him while he was asleep.
Sleep? Yes. Yeah. Come on. All right, just calm.
What's going on?
It's okay, Steve.
Okay, Mr. Hanrahan, please stay calm, stay calm.
I'm in the bloody corridor. What's going on?
We're just moving your bed, Mr. Hanrahan.
Give over, will you? Stop telling me to be calm. I'll
get out
sort you out.
Uncalled for and inappropriate, Mr. Hanrahan.
I want to go back
Mr.
to my
Hanrahan.
room. No. If you won't take me back, I'm
Please.
going back myself. Get your hands off me.
No, you need to stay in.
No,
have to stay in
no.
the bed.
Are you restraining me? I will. I'll bloody swing for you. I really
You can't
will.
get out of
Come
bed,
on.
it's not
I'm-
safe.
I can't. You watch me. I'm going. I'm telling you now. I'm off.
No, you can't leave.
no,
You
Mr.
can't.
Oh, I've had enough. Go on.
Mr. Hanrahan.
Lie
I've
back.
had enough.
This scenario shows why you should always treat patients with dignity and respect. Look at how Ian and Louise gave Mr. Hanrahan reasons why he had to move rooms. He may not have been happy, but at least he knew where he stood. Contrast this with the risk they took when they tried to move him while he was asleep. When they did this, they suffered his outburst. It's also worth noting how Louise remained calm when faced with Mr. Hanrahan's irritability. His brain injury turned his world upside down and he's anxious about what's happening to him. Louise's non-confrontational approach avoided making it worse. It can be distressing when you're on the receiving end of insulting comments or aggression, but it's important not to take them personally.
Make time, go into them, talk to them. It's building that relationship and them getting to trust you as well.
Take a look at this physiotherapist.
What are you doing? Ooh, oh.
He may be doing something that's routine for him, but it's not routine for the patient.
1, 2, 3. Here we go.
But when the physiotherapist explains everything, they both feel calmer, making both of their lives much easier. If you're feeding, dressing, showering, or using a standing frame like this, always explain what's happening.
How's that feel?
I'm stood up, look. I'm taller than you. Huh.
In this scenario, we're looking at a patient who isn't as easy as Mr. Hanrahan was to talk to. Ward Sister Denise is worried about a recently admitted patient. Jim's had a traumatic brain injury. He's in a post-traumatic confusional state and he's agitated. For most people, this gets better, though not always.
Have you seen what he's doing in there? We're going to have to think what to do here.
What's happening?
It's that new patient, Jim. He's throwing things and tearing the room apart.
What's the doctor prescribed?
Haloperidol, I think. Jim!
This is one of the hardest situations you may face because Jim's not going to engage easily in conversation. So what do? Do you do nothing or do you try to medicate Jim?
She gets him now. I think I can restrain him. You inject.
Okay. I've got it!
Right, okay. You ready?
Yeah, you go first.
Actually, thinking about it, should we not just let him play this one out?
Agreed. Let's not risk making it worse.
He isn't going to get injured. Nobody else is going to get injured. Let's just leave him to it, eh? Let's not give him an audience to play to, eh? Can we just clear this area, please, eh?
And we'll just keep an eye on him, yeah?
Yeah, watch from afar. Hi, Jim. I've got your jacket here. See what it's like outside, eh? That's it. Can you get up? Can you swing your legs around? That's it. Get this place tidied up, eh? On you go, mate.
In this case, the best option was to do nothing. But look at what might have happened if they tried to restrain and medicate Jim.
Jim! Jim, what are you doing? Jim, calm down. You're going to get into a lot of trouble if you carry on like that. Leave it alone. Your mum will be here in a minute and she's not going to be very happy. Now don't be stupid. I said leave it! Oh, my giddy aunt.
You said he was on haloperidol, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Should we get some now? I think I can restrain him. You inject.
Okay. I've got it!
Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah, you go first.
I'll restrain when he's in the safest position as possible. You inject, okay?
Yeah, tell me when you're ready, okay? Come on, Jim.
Jim. Jim. Come on, Jim. Needle stick injury. Needle stick injury.
Oh my goodness.
This is the type of situation we never want to face because we might feel our own personal safety is at risk.
I'm worried about getting hurt. I'm also worried about when they shout. Other people who are visiting hospital now come in and be thinking, what's going on?
At the beginning of this scenario, one of the options we gave you was do nothing. It's actually known as the low-arousal approach. The golden rules for the low-arousal approach involve your mind, body and voice. Appear calm, even if you don't feel it. Keep your body relaxed and don't invade the personal space of the patient. Jim was in the early stages of a brain injury. He previously worked as a kitchen fitter, and even on the ward he thought he was at work, dismantling the room piece by piece. When he was given time to settle, with the audience safely removed, there was less to arouse him, and despite the damage to the room, no body was damaged. Contrast this to the other approach, where Denise got very close to him, staring at him, raising her voice, criticising him and threatening him. This risks inflaming the situation further. The final straw was the needle, which Jim saw and reacted to. This dangerous escalation of Jim's behaviour might have caused injury to him, but in this case it was a member of staff who was injured. Only as a last resort, where there's risk of injury, staff will have to intervene physically. However, legally, only reasonable force can be used, and you'll have to justify your actions.
Okay, George.
This scenario involves another patient whose brain injury makes him believe he's at work.
This is where we are. Okay, so if you like to occupy yourself for a bit, someone will be along to see you in a bit, all right?
George is a successful businessman in furniture sales. He's just been admitted for rehabilitation.
Why are you here? I've been brought here from the packing factory. Has anyone told you what's going on?
All right, Mr. Hanrahan, all right. Do you want a paracetamol?
Something, please.
Is it 2 that you have?
I think so.
Have you got a drink?
I have one.
Okay, I'll get you one.
Excuse me, I want a word with you.
The ward sister has had a very busy morning and she is now faced with a dilemma. Does she stop to talk to George, or does she take an authoritative approach and continue with her important medication round?
Hello?
I want to know what's going on here. I've just been taken here from the packing factory and no one's told me anything.
Well, perhaps I can find someone who can have a chat with you.
No, I want you to tell me. I have a meeting in 20 minutes. I have to leave now.
Okay. I'll just be a minute. Is that all right? Now, how can I help you?
I have a very important meeting with my Belgian supplier in 20 minutes.
I can see that your meeting's very important. And what are you going to discuss?
I can't quite remember. Oh, it's a new range we're doing. Collapsible coffee tables, painted orange, with engravings of tortoises, green tortoises.
Well, that sounds interesting. You must be very busy.
Yes, very busy. I really must get to the meeting or the contract will be lost.
Look, I can't promise you that I can get you to your meeting, but I can promise that I'll find out exactly what's going on. I think you've had a fall and an injury to your head.
Yes, my head. It really is a very important meeting, you know.
Well, that's right. Why don't you sit here? I'll make you a nice cup of tea.
Tea? Yes, a tea. And then the meeting. Yeah. I must get to the meeting.
Yes, okay.
The ward sister has calmed George by showing him respect. But look what might have happened if she'd used a different approach.
Excuse me, I'd like a word with you.
Do you want your other tablets now?
I think so, yes.
Excuse me?
I'll be with you in a minute. Did you say you wanted your other tablets
Yes,
now?
please.
Okay, drink those down then.
I want to know what's going on. I've been brought here from the packing factory and no one has explained anything to me.
I'll tell you what's going on in a second once I've seen to this patient. Have you taken those down? Oh, you'll be feeling better in a minute then, won't you?
I'd like to speak to someone in authority. I have a meeting. I have a meeting in 20 minutes.
Will you sit down, please? I'll be with you in a minute.
I don't think you understand. I have a very important meeting in my office across town. And the traffic at this time of day is horrendous.
You don't have a meeting and you're going nowhere. Now sit down.
Don't have time. In 20 minutes I have a meeting with my supplier from Belgium and I need to speak to someone in authority.
I'll speak to you when I'm ready.
Now!
I am the ward nurse and I'm in authority.
No, no! You're the monkey! I don't want to speak to the monkey. I want to speak to the organ grinder.
I beg your pardon?
The person who runs this outfit.
Sit down and I'll speak to you in due course. I'm sorry about that. Some people, eh? Have you finished your drink? Just let me know if you need anything.
I want to speak to someone now or I will close this place down. Right, you are in real trouble. Will somebody let me out? I need to get out! I have a meeting in 20 minutes on the other side of town!
Once again, the low arousal approach worked best. Like Jim, George thought he was at work. This was probably how he tried to make sense of his circumstances. However, unlike Jim, George was more able to engage in conversation. The key is how Denise approached that conversation. When Denise took a superior, confrontational and abrupt manner, his anxieties were heightened, increasing his anger and aggression. Contrast this to her more understanding approach, where she listened and tried to see things from his perspective. He was being taken seriously, even if he wasn't perhaps making much sense. Also note how Denise checked with her patient, reassuring him that she'll be back. This calm approach prevented George's anxieties escalating into anger.
You might think the scenarios we've shown you are far-fetched, but they're all based on real events. George's story was inspired by something that happened to Colin 7 years ago. Colin is a successful businessman who found himself on the ward after a brain hemorrhage. He's since made good progress, so we decided to show him George's story to hear what he had to say.
There we are. Okay, so if you like to occupy yourself for a bit, someone will be along to see you in a bit, all right?
I don't really think that I would have wanted to have been left at that point like that. I'd have liked some explanation from her, or to come and sit by me and talk me around to what it is that was my problem.
Colin was lucky. His carers were very understanding, but he thinks things could have been very different if they hadn't been.
But if I hadn't have been treated with respect, I could have gotten far more angry than I did, and I would have been a lot more difficult and awkward to control and deal with.
As Colin's experience bears out, if you're hostile, the patient's more likely to be aggressive in response.
Get up.
Just compare how this physiotherapist's offhand manner means he gets no cooperation from his patient.
Alright, Steve. Do you want to see if you can try and stand up for me? No thanks.
But when he offers a few kind words, he gets a much better response, and they can both stand tall. It's a lesson worth remembering, no matter how difficult the situation may seem.
Inside, you'll feel like turmoil, and you'll be thinking, God, please, don't go off, don't start. But on the outside, you're just showing that professional saying, and how are you today? And what can I do? Is it all right if I help you with? And taking it from there.